we're going to go ahead and dive into our next project. So this one is about two things. It's primarily about values. Values meaning not so much shading or monetary value, but the things that matter to you. And just how we talked about that the Fremonts made petroglyphs of the things that matter to them, you're going to make art about things that matter to you, but not something specific like a phone or the family members in your family, but instead more abstract ideas. Specifically, we're going to be working with the entheos values. So, our entheos values are adventure, individuality, family, integrity, respect, patriotism, enthusiasm, excellence, service, and leadership. And these bottom three are the main values for our school. Adventure, individuality, family, integrity, respect, patriotism, and enthusiasm all support the main values of excellence, service, and leadership. So you're going to pick one of these, and you're going to base your project around it in two ways. We're going to actually be doing two things at the same time for this. You're going to be making two creative works based on the entheos value of your choice. One will be visual art. You'll have the word written on the page, and we're going to overlay it with abstract lines. I know that's pretty vague, but I'm going to explain soon. And then you'll also be writing a short 3-paragraph essay. If you want to add 5 so that you can have a nice solid intro and conclusion, you sure can, but I only need 3. And you're going to be writing on what that value means to you. You'll find your own research to defend yourself, but within that research, at least one thing must be personal experience. At least one thing must be a quote from a book or a famous person, and the rest of the evidence is up to you. And in your art project, you're going to need to stick with a color scheme. So the color schemes you can choose from are a monochromatic color scheme, which means you choose one color and you do different shades of that, adding in black or white if you want. Analogous, which means a color and its two neighbors, and again, adding in black, white, or gray if you want. And a triad, which means a color and the two colors that are equidistant to it. So remember, the hint for a triad is look at a color, skip 3, and then do the next ones. Now, let's get back to talking about that essay very briefly. We'll talk more about it in class, but we're going to be doing let's make it so you can see me a bit more. We're going to be doing the art section, of this project altogether, and we're going to do the essay as your homework. So art will be done in our meetings, essays will be done on your own. You're all going to get an essay organizer just like this. You might be familiar with these from Mr. Levitt. If you're new to the school, you might not be as familiar, but it's pretty simple. The gist of the question, you'll be filling in just what I'm asking you, which is which of these values, which entheos value is important to you. And you're going to explain or what they mean to you. So let's say you pick individuality. You say, this essay will explain individuality, or what individuality means to me. Then you'll say explanation, individuality is. You'll see how there's 3 boxes. You need 3 explanations of what is individuality. What are the 3 things that make it up? And then back it up. One of the evidences should be a personal experience. One of them should be a quote that you can find from a book or from a famous person. And then the third source of evidence is up to you. Maybe it's from a quote from a family member. Maybe it's a quote from another famous person you like, or maybe it's another personal experience, or maybe it's a quote from the dictionary. It's really up to you what your 3 evidences are. Now, with all that being said, let's go ahead and start looking at what the project is going to be like. And I'm going to stick with individuality for mine. So, Gonna get my paper ready. And, oh, one thing I forgot to say. The reason why you're doing your essay as homework and the project and in class is this is an opportunity for you to use any medium you want, as long as you have it at home with you. So if all you have is colored pencils, do an amazing project with colored pencils. It just needs to be colored medium. If you have acrylic paint, get it out. If you have watercolor, get it out. A lot of you had very exciting things of what you wanted to try this year as far as a medium. This is your chance. I don't even care if you want to use clay. I mean, this part that I'm going to show you today would be a little hard with clay, but you could figure it out. Be creative and use a medium that makes you happy. I am going to use markers and water because a lot of people have that and a lot of people haven't tried using them together. So I'm going to get my page ready. So for day one, we're all going to be doing about the same thing because I'm looking for the abstract shapes to be circles in your project. You're going to need whatever kind of paper works for your medium. If you're doing watercolor, use a thick watercolor paper. If you're doing drawing, you can use thinner paper. If you're using paint, you'll need a canvas, things like that. And then you're going to need various different sized circles. Okay? I found these circles that I'm going to use for mine all on my desk. So I didn't even go anywhere. And you can see they're all different sizes. You're going to be tracing circles all over. So pop them down and trace. And then some of your circles can overlap, or maybe you don't want them necessarily to overlap. Like this big circle, I'm going to have it cut off when it gets to this medium-sized circle. Nice. This little one is going to go right inside. That'll be nice. This one is going to go behind. Liking that. And this one, I'm going to have it inside this circle and outside the other one. Oh, interesting. I'm going to have another big circle that goes off my page. One of these medium ones. This one's just going to go directly behind both of them. This one, I'm going to do both sides of the tape, but one of them I'm going to do just the inside, one of them I'm going to do both. Yeah, I like that. Let's do another one like this. Let's do this one behind everybody. And then bring in that line over here for variation. All of these different things are going to be colored. Different colors within the color scheme of my choice. Really liking this. And this one I'm only going to do in front. I'm not going to do behind. So it's really up to you where your circles go, how you lay them out. You really don't need to watch. You should be following along. Keep going. Do your own project. Do your own thing. As I'm working, definitely have them go off the page. It's going to make your project look more interesting visually and complete. And I'm going to add 2 more circles and then move on to my next step. Now I chose the value individuality. And you'll notice that my circles aren't really necessarily representing individuality in any way. They're just circles. But the way I'm going to make this project represent individuality is through actually using the word right in the middle. So I'm going to write individuality. And you're going to notice that I'm going to break up my shapes by writing that word. So here's my I. I'm stretching the letters all the way to the edges of my circles. N, I'm going to put right inside here. Keep it pretty small. Oh, thank goodness that N's not backwards. I have to do this upside down, crew, so that's why I'm kind of freaking out that it might be backwards. This one is going to overlap. In, di. I need another I. You don't have to do all uppercase. I'm going to do this one lowercase. I. Indiv. This V is going to be very stretched. Notice how I'm not having any lines just sitting by themselves. They're connected. Now I need another I. It's very big, this one. Individ. A D. Ooh, I'm running out of space already. This is bad news for me. U. A. L. I need ITY. All I have is individual. Okay, here we go. I. T. I'm going to connect it to that I and then our Y. The last thing that I needed. Okay. Individuality. That is the first step that you're going to do. The next step involves coloring, which I'll show you in a separate video.